My name is Hannah Cole. I'm 33 years old. 19 months ago, I packed everything I owned into the back of a rented truck and drove 2,300 miles from Dayton, Ohio, to Seattle, Washington. I didn't tell my mother. I didn't tell my younger sister. I didn't tell anyone in my family. I just left. I kept my phone number the same one I'd had for over a decade. If anyone wanted to reach me, they could. I didn't disappear. I just stopped showing up. But for 19 months, nothing. No calls, no texts, not on my birthday, not on Thanksgiving, not on Christmas, not once, until the day my sister showed up at my old apartment because she needed a babysitter. That's when my phone started ringing. 43 voicemails in less than 2 days. Not one asked if I was safe. Not one asked where I had gone. Every single message was the same in a different tone. How selfish I was, how ungrateful I had become, how I had abandoned my family. I didn't call back. Instead, I mailed one box, and when they opened it, they didn't come after me. They turned on each other. Before I tell you how everything fell apart, take a moment to subscribe to this channel, but only if you truly believe that being there for others should never mean losing yourself. I'd also love to hear from you. Where are you watching from? And what time is it there right now? This is a fictional story, with some elements enhanced by AI to make it more vivid. But I believe the emotions you'll feel along the way are very real. Now, let me take you back. Back to a Tuesday evening in my mother's kitchen. The night I realized I had been invisible my entire life. I'm 14 years old. My father has been dead for 3 weeks. The house smells like food people brought over out of obligation, and cleaning products that can't quite hide the heaviness in the air. My mother is sitting on the couch, wearing the same robe she's worn for days. She's staring at the TV. It isn't even on. My sister, Lila, is 10. She stands in the doorway, her voice trembling slightly. "I'm hungry," she says. I wait for Mom to respond. She doesn't move. "Mom, I'm hungry." Lila repeats. Still nothing. So I walk into the kitchen. I open the pantry. There's a box of macaroni and cheese. I've never cooked before, not really. I read the instructions carefully, step by step. Boil water, stir noodles, add cheese. My hands shake a little. The packet tears unevenly, and powder spills onto my shirt. I make 2 bowls, one for Lila, one for Mom. Lila eats quietly at the table. My mother takes her bowl without looking at me. "Finally," she says flatly. "Someone's being useful. That's all. No thank you. No concern. No recognition that I had just lost my father too." I stand there, 14 years old, trying to hold together a house that already feels broken beyond repair. After they finish, I clean everything. I wash the pot. I wash the bowls. I wipe down the counter. The sponge smells old and sour. I make a note in my head: buy a new sponge. I am 14, and I'm already thinking about things no one else notices. That night, standing at the sink with water dripping from my hands, something changes. I become the one who holds this family together. I didn't choose it. No one asked me to. It just happened. And once it starts, you don't realize there's no way to stop. 17 years later, I am 31 years old. I live 12 minutes away from my mother's house in a small 1-bedroom apartment in Dayton that I pay for on my own. I work as a project manager at a local construction company. I am good at my job. Organized, reliable, detail-oriented. I have to be, because when I leave the office, I start my second job, the one no one hired me for and no one pays me for, on Sunday night. I open my Google Calendar. It is color-coded. Blue is my mother. Her doctor appointments twice a month because she says she cannot keep track. Green is my sister Lila's children, picking up Ava from school on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yellow is Saturday babysitting. All 3 kids so Lila and her husband Marcus can have their date nights. Red is holidays. Thanksgiving. Christmas. Easter. Birthdays. I plan everything. I cook everything. I clean everything. I scroll through the next 3 months. Every single entry has someone else's name on it. Not one of them belongs to me. I had plans to meet my college friend Rachel for lunch 4 times that year. I canceled all 4. Twice because Lila texted last minute asking me to watch the kids. Once because my mom said she was having a bad day. Once because the youngest got sick at daycare and Lila could not leave work. I scroll back further. 6 months. Same pattern, 12 months. Nothing changes. My phone buzzes. A message from Lila. Can you do Saturday and Sunday this week? Marcus is traveling. I type yes. I send it. No reply. No thank you. No how are you. Just the quiet assumption that I will always say yes. Because I always do. I close the calendar and stare at the screen. And for the first time, a thought enters my mind that I cannot push away. When was the last time someone made space for me? March 12th, my 31st birthday. I wake up and check my phone. Nothing. I check again after I get dressed. Nothing. At work. I check during lunch. Still nothing. No message, no missed call, not even a generic post. Then again, I deleted my social media 2 months ago. No one noticed that either. After work, I stop at a small bakery on Maple Street. I buy a single red velvet cupcake. I sit in my car in the parking lot and eat it alone. The frosting tastes good. The moment does not. At 7:15, my phone rings. Mom. For half a second. My chest lifts. Maybe she remembered. Hannah, I need you to run to the pharmacy. My prescription is ready and they close at 8. I grip the steering wheel tighter. It's my birthday today. Mom. There is a pause. Short. Empty. Oh. Happy birthday. Did you pick up the prescription I drive to the pharmacy? I pick up her medication. I drop it off at her house. She opens the door, takes the bag, and says, "Thanks, honey." Then she closes the door. She does not invite me in. She does not mention my birthday again. I sit in the driveway for 3 minutes, engine still running, headlights pointed at the garage. And for the first time, I feel something inside me start to crack. I sit there longer than I should. The engine is still running. The headlights are fixed on the garage door like I am waiting for something to change. I do not cry. I never really have. But something inside me shifts. Something that has been holding steady for 17 years finally gives way. I can almost feel it, like a cable snapping under too much weight. Have you ever been treated like free labor by your own family? Like your value only shows up when you're useful and disappears the moment you stop giving that feeling? It's heavier than most people realize. If this resonates with you, feel free to share your story in the comments. Sometimes just putting it into words can make it a little easier to carry. I'll be reading every single one. Back to my story. That night, around 11, I open my laptop. I type one thing into the search bar: apartments in Seattle. I have never been there. I do not know anyone there. It is far enough away that it might as well be another life. And right now, that distance feels exactly right. I do not book anything. I am not impulsive. I plan. So I decide to try one last thing, an experiment, starting the next morning. I change how I show up. Instead of waiting for someone to need me, I reach out first. Not to help, not to fix, just to connect. March 13th. I text my mom. Do you want to have lunch on Saturday? Just us. No reply. March 19th. I text Lila. Hey, how are you? We have not talked in a while. She answers hours later. Busy. Kids are a lot right now. Nothing else? March 26th. I text Marcus. How is the new project going? He sees it. I see the read receipt. No response. I keep going. April, May, June, July, August. Every week. I reach out. Do you want to see a movie? How is Ava feeling after her doctor visit? Mom, I tried your soup recipe. It turned out really good. Lila, I miss you. Can we spend time together? I take screenshots of everything. Not because I have a plan. I do not. I just need to be sure I am not imagining this. I need proof that I am trying. By the end of August. I count them. 214 messages, 11 replies, all of them short, all of them practical, none of them asking how I am. 203 messages ignored. I sit on my bed. My laptop open in front of me. A job listing is on the screen. Project coordinator. Seattle. Same salary. Full benefits. Start date October 1st. I look at the screenshots again. 214 attempts. Then I look back at the job listing. The application takes 20 minutes. I submit it before I can talk myself out of it. In September. They call me back. Then they send the offer. I accept. I give my 2 weeks notice at work. My manager, Daniel, shakes my hand and says, Seattle is lucky to have you. Those words stay with me. 5 simple words. More recognition than I have received from my own family in years. I start packing. Evenings after work, I fill boxes. I sell my furniture to strangers who show up with cash and trucks. I set up mail forwarding. I deactivate my social media. One thing I do not do is change my phone number. If they want to reach me, they can. I am not disappearing. I am just done chasing. On my last night in Dayton, I drive past my mother's house. The lights are on. The television flickers through the curtains. I could stop. I could walk up and knock on the door. I keep driving. On September 28th, I attach a trailer to my car and start heading west. Indiana, Iowa, Nebraska, Wyoming, Idaho. 3 days of highways, gas stations, and quiet. Somewhere in the middle of Wyoming, I roll down the windows and scream into the wind. No reason, no words. It just comes out of me, and it feels like something is finally leaving my body. October 1st, Seattle. It is raining when I arrive. I park outside my new apartment. 2nd floor, quiet street. A small tree in the yard. I sit in the car and breathe. Really breathe. No notifications, no requests, no one waiting for me to fix something. I did not slam the door on my old life. I just stopped holding it open. In the first month. I check my phone every morning. Nothing. No messages from Dayton. I tell myself it is still early. Maybe they are busy. Maybe Lila is dealing with the kids. Maybe my mom is in one of her quiet moods again. I keep making excuses for them. Even from 2,000 miles away. By the 2nd month, Thanksgiving comes. I sit alone in my apartment in Seattle with a rotisserie chicken and a can of cranberry sauce. I eat at my small kitchen table, looking at an empty chair across from me. My phone stays silent. No one asks where I am. No one notices I am missing. Then it hits me. They probably did not even have Thanksgiving dinner. I was always the one who planned it, cooked it, made sure everyone showed up. Without me, there is no table, and without the table, there is nothing to miss. Month 3, my birthday again. I turn 32. This time, I buy myself a cupcake from a bakery near my new place. Same flavor, red velvet. I sit on my couch and eat it slowly. It feels different. Not happy, not sad, just quieter. My phone never rings. Month 4. Something changes. At work, I meet someone. Her name is Emily Chen. She is 34, a senior designer. On my 3rd week, she stops by my desk and asks, "How was your weekend?" I open my mouth to answer. And for a second, I cannot speak. Not because the question is deep, because no one has asked me that in years and actually waited for the answer. Month 5. Emily invites me to go hiking on Saturdays. She introduces me to her friends. We have small dinners, potlucks, simple conversations. One night, someone asks me what kind of music I like. I pause. I do not know. I have never had time to figure that out. Month 6. I check my old email one last time. There is one unread message from Lila, sent 3 weeks ago. Subject line, 4th of July weekend. Message. Can you watch the kids that weekend? Marcus has plans. No greeting. No question. She does not even know I am gone. Around that time, I start therapy. First time in my life. My therapist gives me an exercise. She asks me to write down what my life would look like in 5 years if I had stayed. That night, I sit at my kitchen table and write, if I had stayed, I would still be driving my mom to appointments while she complained about the route. I would still be picking up the kids from school while Lila sent me last-minute messages. I would still be babysitting every weekend so someone else could have a life. I would be 36, then 40, then 45. With a calendar full of other people's names, I would have lost my 30s completely. Then she asks me to write what my life looks like now. 6 months in, my manager calls me into her office. Her name is Claire. I think I am in trouble. She smiles and says they are creating a senior project manager position. She wants me to take it. I just stare at her. You are the most organized person I have ever worked with, she says. I do not tell her where I learned that. Now. My weekends are mine. I hike with Emily. I take a pottery class on Wednesday nights. I cook real meals for myself instead of eating in my car between errands. My calendar finally has my name on it. Every single entry. One afternoon. My phone buzzes. I look down out of habit. It is Emily. Farmers market this Saturday. I smile without thinking. Someone is inviting me somewhere. Not because they need something, just because they want me there. Then, one evening, months later, my phone lights up again. An Ohio number. Lila. I stare at it until it stops ringing. On the other side, she needs a babysitter. Marcus is away on a work trip. She wants a weekend with her friends. She calls the only number she has ever used for help. Mine. The phone rings again. Then a message appears. Can you help this weekend? Call me. I see it. But I do not answer. I am sitting in my pottery class in Seattle, my hands covered in wet clay, shaping something that finally belongs to me. My phone stays buried in my bag, still on silent, while I shape clay with my hands. Back in Dayton, Lila tries calling again the next morning. It goes to voicemail. She does not leave one. She never does. Instead, she gets in her car and drives to my old apartment, the one I have not lived in for 19 months. She parks, walks up the stairs, and knocks. No answer. She knocks again. Louder this time. A door across the hall opens. A woman steps out. Mrs. Carter. She has lived there for years. You looking for the girl in 4B, she asks. That's my sister, Hannah, Lila says. Mrs. Carter tilts her head. Oh, honey, she moved out a long time ago, over a year at least. Lila freezes. What do you mean? She packed up one morning, loaded a trailer, and left. Didn't say where. And here's the part that matters. Lila does not ask if I seemed okay. She does not ask if I was safe. She pulls out her phone and calls our mother. Did you know Hannah moved? On the other end, my mother sounds confused. What are you talking about? 19 months. No one called. No one visited. No one drove 12 minutes to check on me. Not until they needed something. And even standing in front of my empty apartment. The first question is not about me. It is about inconvenience. The next reaction comes quickly. My mother, Elaine Cole, does what she always does when she feels out of control. She makes it about herself. Within an hour, she calls me. The same number I have had for years. The same number she could have used at any time. I am sitting on my couch in Seattle, reading a book. I watch the phone ring. I do not answer. She calls again and again. Then the voicemails begin. The first one is sharp. Hannah, where are you? Call me back right now. By the 7th. Her voice is louder. How could you leave without telling your own mother by the 15th? It turns cruel. You are the most selfish daughter I have ever raised. By the 23rd. She brings up my father. He would be ashamed of you. By the 34th. She is threatening. I will tell everyone what kind of person you really are. By the 47th. She is done pretending. If you do not call me back, you are no longer part of this family. 47 voicemails in one weekend. I listen to every single one. Then I sit down and write. Not for anyone else. Just for me. I write down what she says. Message by message. And I notice something. Not one of them asks if I am okay. Not one asks if I am safe. Not one says she is worried. Every message is about her. What I did to her. What I owe her. How I embarrassed her. I set my phone down. 47 messages. Zero concern. In my closet. On the top shelf. There is a folder I brought with me when I left. 214 printed screenshots. I have not touched it since the move. Until now. I take it down and place it on the table in front of me. While I sit there quietly, Lila is already rewriting the story. That same night, she posts online. She cannot tag me. I deleted my account months before I left, but she writes anyway. Going through something really painful right now. When someone in your family abandons you and your children without a word, you learn who really loves you. The reactions come fast. Hearts, sad faces, comments full of sympathy. You are so strong. I cannot believe someone would do that to you. No one asks what happened. No one asks why. No one asks if there is another side. Because there always is. Then Lila calls my aunt. Margaret, my mother's older sister. The one who stopped speaking to her years ago for reasons no one ever talks about. Aunt Margaret. Hannah just disappeared. Lila says into the phone, she abandoned Mom. She abandoned my kids. There is a pause on the other end. Then my aunt speaks. Calm and steady. Did you ever call her first what? In the last year and a half? Margaret continues. Did you call Hannah even once? Not to ask for help. Just to talk. Silence. Then the line goes dead. That evening, my phone rings. It is Margaret. She is the only one in my family who ever checked in on me without needing something. Just a message, every few months. Just enough to remind me I was still seen by someone. Last Christmas, I sent her my new address. She mailed me a card. It is still on my fridge. They found out. She says, I figured. They are not worried about you. She adds, they are angry. I know. There is a pause. What are you going to do? I look at the folder sitting on my table. I have not decided yet. I say, but I think I already have. Back in Dayton. Marcus is sitting at the kitchen table late that night. Marcus Reed, my brother-in-law, is not a bad person. He is just absent. 31, mechanical engineer, always traveling. When he is home, he follows Lila's lead without question. But that night, something is different. After Lila goes to bed, he sits alone and opens his phone. He scrolls back through old messages. Eventually, he finds 3 from me, sent months apart. Simple messages. Friendly. How is your project going? Hope your trip went well. Happy Father's Day. Each one shows the same thing. Read. No reply. Marcus stares at them for a long time. It is not quite guilt. Not fully. But it is close enough. The quiet realization that he saw someone reaching out and chose to do nothing. The next morning, Lila is on the phone with a friend, retelling her version of the story. Her voice is full of frustration, painting me as the one who walked away without a word. She hangs up and looks at Marcus. Can you believe she did this? Marcus does not answer right away. Then he asks, did we ever check on her? Lila's expression hardens instantly. That is not the point. I think it is, he says quietly. She turns and walks out of the room. Marcus stays where he is, staring at his coffee, at those unanswered messages, at a truth he cannot ignore anymore, 2,000 miles away. I open my laptop. I order a box, medium size, just big enough. Right now, my family is rewriting the story of why I left. My mother's voicemails keep coming. My sister's post keeps gathering sympathy. And not one of them has asked if I am okay. If you have ever been the person everyone depends on but no one checks on, then you already know what comes next. The folder is still on my table. I open it for the first time since I moved. 214 messages, printed, organized. Just like I organize everything else in my life. 3 sections. The first is for my mother. 87 messages, highlighted in colors, yellow for simple check-ins. How are you feeling today? Pink for invitations. Do you want to have lunch? Blue for moments that mattered. I made your recipe today. I wish you were here. Next to each message, a small note in my handwriting. No reply. Seen. No response. The second section is for Lila. 94 messages. Same system. How are the kids? Do you want to do something together? I miss you. 94 attempts. Most of them ignored. The third section is for Marcus. 33 messages. Short, polite, thoughtful. Every single one read. Every single one unanswered. I sit there, looking at the pages spread out in front of me. Everything I tried. Everything they chose not to see. At the bottom of each section, I add a simple summary. Total sent, total replied. Response rate, Mom, 4%. Lila, 6%. Marcus, 0. I do not write any explanation. I do not add emotion or accusations. No paragraphs about how they made me feel. No demands, just numbers. Facts are enough. On top of everything, I place one single sheet of paper, plain white, black ink, one sentence. I tried 214 times. Here they are. I slide the folder into the box and close it. I write my mother's address on the front. No name from me. Just a return address in Seattle. I seal it with tape and set it on the shelf by the door. I do not send it yet. There is a reason I am waiting. And that reason has a birthday coming up. A few days later, Margaret calls me. Her voice sounds tired. Your mom is planning a big birthday party for Noah. She says, Noah is Lila's youngest? When I ask, March 15th, Saturday afternoon, I fold a towel on my bed while she talks. It still feels strange sometimes that everything I wash now belongs to me. She invited everyone. Margaret continues. Marcus's parents, Lila's friends, the neighbors, even people from church. She is turning it into a whole event. I can picture it clearly. My mother has always loved an audience. That's not the only thing, Margaret adds. She expects you to show up. She told Lila she thinks you will come to your senses. I stop folding. And if you don't, she says quietly. She plans to give a speech, in front of everyone, about how you abandoned the family. I sit down on the edge of the bed. A speech. Of course. She has been practicing it. Margaret says. Words like ungrateful, selfish, everything she sacrificed. She wants people there to hear it. She wants witnesses. I say, yes. Margaret replies. She wants to be the victim in a room full of people. I look across my apartment. The box sits exactly where I left it. Waiting. What time is the party, I ask. Afternoon. I do the math in my head. Shipping from Seattle to Dayton takes 2 or 3 days. If I send it on March 12th, it will arrive just in time. Are you going to go? She asks. No. Good. She says. I wasn't going to tell you to. There is a pause. Margaret, I say. Thank you for being the one person who calls just to call. Her voice softens. That's what family is supposed to do. We hang up. I walk over to the shelf and pick up the box. It feels light in my hands. Funny how something so small can carry so much truth. March 12th arrives. My 33rd birthday. No one calls. This time. I do not feel anything about it. Not disappointment. Not anger. That part is gone. I drive to the post office in the morning. There are only a couple of people ahead of me. I hold the box under my arm while I wait. When it is my turn, the clerk weighs it and types in the zip code. It should arrive Friday. Maybe Saturday. She says. Saturday works. I reply. She glances at me. Anything fragile inside, I look at the box for a moment. No. I say. Nothing fragile. Because the truth is not fragile. It is the strongest thing I have left. She prints the label. I pay. Then she places the box on the conveyor behind her. And just like that, it is out of my hands. Moving across states. From the person who tried, to the people who never noticed. I step outside. The rain has stopped. I breathe in the cool air and feel something in my chest loosen. My phone buzzes. Emily. Happy birthday. Dinner tonight. I'm cooking. I smile. Someone remembered. Someone who has only known me for a year and a half. Remembered what my own family forgot again. I'd love that. I text back. That night. We sit on her small patio with warm food and soft lights. We talk about work. About hiking. About nothing important and everything that matters. She does not ask about the box. I do not bring it up. Later. At home. I check the tracking number. In transit. Expected delivery. March 14th to 15th. I close the app. For the first time in a long time, I sleep through the night without waking. This is the first party Lila has ever organized on her own. Nothing quite fits together. The napkins do not match the plates. The music playlist feels off. The timing is uneven. At one point, she catches herself thinking Hannah would have handled this better. The thought does not make her sad. It makes her tense. Marcus stands near the sliding glass door, watching the kids run around outside. He has barely spoken all afternoon. His parents glance at him from time to time, their expressions quiet and unreadable, and in the center of it all. My mother stands like she has been waiting for this exact moment. Elaine Cole is dressed perfectly, hair done, lipstick set, composed. She has an audience. On the hallway table, between a bowl of keys and an old framed photo, sits a cardboard box. Return address: Seattle, Washington. No one has opened it yet. The cake is cut. Noah smears frosting across his face and everyone laughs. Then my mother lifts her glass and taps it lightly. I want to say something. The room quiets. Lila freezes near the counter. Marcus looks down. As some of you know, my mother begins. My older daughter, Hannah, chose to leave this family without a word. A few people shift uncomfortably. She moved away. We still do not know where, and she has not contacted any of us in almost 2 years. She pauses, letting the silence settle. I raised that girl. I gave her everything: a home, stability, love. Her voice tightened slightly, and she repaid me by abandoning her mother, her sister, and these 3 beautiful children who adore her. The room stays quiet, but we do not need her. She continues. We have each other. That is what family means. Showing up. A few people nod, a few clap softly. That is terrible. Someone murmurs. One of Lila's friends places a hand on her shoulder. You are so strong, she whispers. Lila nods, her eyes glassy. She did not even say goodbye. She adds, Ava asks about her all the time, and just like that. The story is complete. 15 people in a room, and my mother has painted herself as the victim and me as the one who walked away. No one questions it. No one asks why. Then Marcus's father, Richard, clears his throat and points toward the hallway table. Elaine, you have a package. Every head turns. My mother walks over and picks it up. It is lighter than she expects. She turns it in her hands. No name, just a Seattle return address. It is from her, Lila says quietly. My mother brings it to the table. She opens it carefully, peeling back the tape. Inside is the folder. Thick, organized, and on top, a single sheet of paper. She picks it up and reads it out loud without thinking. I tried 214 times. Here they are. The room goes still. She turns the page over. Blank. Then she opens the folder. At first, nothing happens. Then slowly, her expression begins to change. She flips one page, then another, then another. Her hand starts to shake. Mom. Lila says softly, What is it? No answer. Lila reaches forward and pulls the folder closer. She opens her section. The first page shows her name. A message. Hey. How are you? We have not talked in a while. Highlighted. A small note beside it. No reply. She turns the page. Another message. Another highlight. Another silence. Page after page. 94 times. The room is completely silent now. Richard leans forward and picks up the last section. Marcus's name at the top. 33 messages. All read. All unanswered. He reads one, then looks at his son. Marcus cannot meet his eyes. Mrs. Carter, who has known our family for years, speaks carefully. Elaine. Her voice is steady. She reached out to you all those times. She texted you 87 times. Mrs. Carter's voice is calm. Almost too calm. My mother opens her mouth, but no words come out. 87 times. Mrs. Carter repeats. And you did not respond once, but you just told everyone she left without a word. The room shifts. The story cracks. My mother grips the edge of the table. Those messages do not mean anything. She always sends things like that. No one agrees. Marcus's mother, Diane, is still holding the pages from his section. She looks at him, her expression steady and sharp. You read these? She asks. Marcus does not answer. He stares at the floor. You saw them and said nothing, Mom. This is not the time. Lila cuts in. Diane does not even look at her. 33 messages. She says quietly. Someone reached out to you 33 times and you ignored everyone. The room is no longer on my mother's side. Pastor Allen leans toward his wife and whispers something. She nods. We should go. He says gently. Thank you for having us. They leave their plates on the counter and walk out. One of Lila's friends grabs her purse. Then another follows. The room empties slowly. Not rushed. Not dramatic. Just people choosing not to stay. Lila's face turns red. This is what she does. She says. Her voice rising. She manipulates things. She planned this. But no one is listening anymore. The folder is still open on the table. Pages spread out. Dates. Highlights. Notes in my handwriting. 214 attempts. There is no version of this where I am the villain anymore. The guests are gone. Noah is asleep on the couch, frosting still on his face. The other kids are outside. Unaware, only the adults remain. My mother, Lila, Marcus, his parents. No one sits down. The folder lies in the middle of the table like something exposed. My mother speaks first. She points at Lila. You are her sister. You live 10 minutes away. How did you not know? Lila stares at her in disbelief. Me? Are you serious? You are her mother. You lived even closer. You did not notice for 19 months. I have health issues. My mother snaps. What health issues? Lila fires back. Your blood pressure. Hannah handled that. She picked up your medication. She drove you to every appointment. The words land hard. My mother has no response. Marcus's father, Robert, turns to him. His voice is low and firm. You read those messages? Marcus nods slightly. I am not talking about everyone else. Robert continues. I am talking about you. Marcus has nothing to say. Diane shakes her head. I did not raise you to ignore someone who is clearly trying to reach you. Marcus finally speaks, but his voice is quiet. You did not call her either. That stops everything for a second. Now the room breaks apart completely. My mother blames Lila. Lila blames my mother. Robert blames Marcus. Marcus blames everyone. Diane turns on Robert for pushing too hard. The arguments circle and collide, never landing anywhere. And the one thing no one does is pick up the phone to call me. Miles away. I am sitting on my couch in Seattle. Emily is next to me. We are watching a documentary about the ocean. Something quiet. Something far away from everything back there. My phone lights up on the table. An Ohio number. Then another. Then 3 in a row. I glance down. Mom. Lila. Mom again. Emily looks over. Are you okay? It is just family, I say. She nods. She does not ask more. That is what I like about her. She lets me speak when I am ready. I turn the phone face down. We keep watching. Later, after she leaves, I check the messages. 2 new voicemails. My mother first. Hannah. How could you send that here in front of everyone? You humiliated me in my own house. She keeps going, talking about how people looked at her, how embarrassed she feels, not once asking how I am. Then Lila. I cannot believe you did this. Marcus's parents barely spoke to us after. His dad would not even look at him. Are you happy now? I sit there, listening. Am I happy? No. This is not about happiness. I did not send that box to win anything. I sent it because I tried for months and no one listened. I sent it because the only way to answer their version of the story was to show the truth. The next morning, over coffee, I tell Emily, I sent them something. I say, the truth. She looks at me. Are they mad at you? Some of them, but mostly, they are mad at each other. And that is when everything really begins to change. I will handle this myself. I always do. My mother says in the group chat. Lila replies almost instantly. You always do. Mom. Then she adds something that stops the conversation. Hannah always did too. That's the problem. And just like that, the thread dies. No resolution. No accountability. No one suggests calling me. No one says maybe we should apologize. They argue about how things look. Who seems worse? What people are saying. It is not about me. It is about them. Then something unexpected happens. Marcus steps outside the pattern. He gets my number from Margaret and sends me a message. Hannah, I'm sorry. I should have answered you. I don't have an excuse. I just want you to know I see it now. I read it sitting on my bed. Rain taps softly against the window. It is the first message in 19 months that does not shift blame. No mention of my mother. No mention of Lila. Just a simple truth. I'm sorry. I see it. I do not reply. Not yet. But I do not delete it either. I let it sit. Some things need time before you know what they mean. Meanwhile, back in Dayton, the story begins to spread. Not loudly, not publicly, quietly, through conversations in kitchens, through small talk in church parking lots, through careful voices that begin with, I probably shouldn't say this, but Mrs. Carter tells her sister. Her sister mentions it during a Bible study group. Within days, everyone has heard some version of what happened, but the version that stays is not the one my mother tried to tell. It is not that I abandoned my family. It is this. Her daughter sent over 200 messages. No one answered. She moved across the country, and no one noticed for more than a year. That is the version people remember, because it is the truth. My mother feels it before anyone says it out loud. The way conversations pause when she walks into a room. The way Mrs. Carter waves from a distance but does not come over anymore. The way people become polite instead of warm. No one confronts her directly. They do not need to. Silence can say more than words ever could. Eventually. She calls Margaret. Margaret, you have to help me. She says, talk to Hannah. My mother says, tell her to call me. Margaret does not soften her voice. I told you 10 years ago. Elaine, you treat your children like they work for you. You did not listen then. And I am not getting involved now. But everyone is seeing. My mother starts. Yes. Margaret cuts in. They are seeing what I have always seen. That is not my problem to fix. The call ends. For the first time in a long time, my mother sits alone in her house. No visitors, no calls, no noise, just silence. Now she knows what that feels like. 3 weeks later, on a quiet Tuesday evening, my phone rings. Marcus. I let it ring twice before answering. We sit in silence for a few seconds. I can hear him breathing on the other end. I am not calling because Lila told me to. He says finally, she does not know I am doing this. Okay. I reply, my dad showed me everything at the party. I had seen your messages before, but not like that. Not all together. He pauses. I could not sleep for 3 days. I let the silence sit. You asked about my work. You remembered my trips. You wished me a happy Father's Day. He continues. I read all of it, and I did nothing. I know. I say quietly. I do not have an excuse. Thank you for saying that. The kids miss you, he adds. Ava drew you something last week, a house with purple flowers. My chest tightens. I miss them too. I say, but I am not coming back to fix what was never mine to carry. I understand. Another pause. What do you need from us? I take a breath. I need you to stop treating me like I am there to serve you. If we have a relationship, it is because we choose it, not because someone needs help. That is fair. He says, and I need you to repeat that exactly, not Lila's version. Mine. I will. Before he hangs up. Marcus adds one more thing. Lila and your mom are not speaking right now. That is between them. I say, I do not step in. I do not try to fix it. That part of my life is over. A week later, my phone lights up again. Mom. I let it ring. This time, I do not answer, but I listen to the voicemail she leaves. Hannah. There is a long pause. I can hear her breathing. I went through everything last night. All of it. Every message. Her voice sounds different. Softer. Not sharp. Not accusing. Just tired. I knew you texted. She continues. But I thought it was just reminders. Things you needed me to do. I didn't realize. You were trying to talk to me. Another pause. There was one message. April last year. You said you made my pot roast recipe and wished I was there. Her voice breaks slightly. I saw it in the folder. I never answered that. You were trying to share something with me, and I didn't say anything. Silence fills the space between her words. I don't know how to say I was wrong. She admits quietly, I was never taught how to say that. But I saw it. Hannah, I saw everything, and I don't know what to do now. The message ends. I sit there and listen to it again. Then again. I wait for the usual tone. The blame. The shift back to herself. But it never comes. For the first time, she sounds like a person, not a voice giving orders, not someone keeping score, just a woman sitting alone, realizing what she missed. I do not call back. Not yet. But I open my journal and write one sentence. This is the first time she sounds human. A few days later. Lila calls. Marcus must have given her my number. I answer. Curious. I don't understand why you did this. She says immediately. Which part, I ask. All of it. Sending that box. Embarrassing Mom. I pause for a moment. Lila. I sent you 94 messages in 5 months. Do you want me to remind you I was busy? She says, I have 3 kids. September 12th. I asked if you wanted to take the kids apple picking. I continue. October 3rd. I asked about Ava's ear infection. November 20th. I asked if you needed help for Thanksgiving. Silence. December 24th. I sent you a photo of a gift I wrapped for Noah. You opened it. You didn't respond. Okay, I get it. She cuts in. Do you? I ask quietly. Because I am not sure she does. Not one of those messages asked you for anything. I say quietly. I was not asking for help. I was not asking for favors. I was just trying to talk to my sister. Her breathing changes. Faster now. Not angry. Trapped. I know you have 3 kids. I continue. I know you are tired. I was there for 7 years. Lila, I picked them up from school. I watched them every weekend. I planned every birthday. I held Noah when he cried so you could sleep. She does not interrupt. I know how hard it is. I say, because I was doing it with you. I hear it then. Not loud, not dramatic. Just quiet crying. The kind that comes when there is nothing left to argue with. I love your kids, I tell her. But I am not your backup plan anymore. If you want a relationship with me, it has to start with seeing me as a person, not a service. She struggles to speak. Mom says this is all your fault. She whispers. And what do you think I ask? Silence. Then the line goes dead. That night, I sit at my kitchen table with a cup of tea. Rain taps steadily against the windows. I open my laptop, and I write an email. To Elaine Cole, to Lila Reed, to Marcus Reed. Subject line, where I stand. I keep it simple, clear, like a work document. No emotion spilling over. 5 points. 1. I am safe. I am well. I live in Seattle. 2. I left because no one in this family saw me as a person. I was a role, a babysitter, a driver, a planner. When I stopped doing those things, no one noticed I was gone. That told me everything. 3. I am open to rebuilding relationships, but not the same ones, not on the same terms. 4. My boundaries are simple. No guilt, no pressure, no using the children, no speaking about me publicly. If those are crossed, I will step away again. 5. I love you. That is why I tried 214 times. But love without respect is not love. It is a job. And I quit. I read it once. I do not soften it. I do not add apologies. This is the first time I write something for myself. I press send. Then I close my laptop, put on my coat, and walk out into the rain. 2 hours later, Margaret calls me. She read it. She says, and she forwarded it to Lila. What did she say? Margaret exhales softly. One line, she says. Who does she think she is? Lila reads the email. For the first time in her life, she does not respond to our mother. She does not defend her. She does not argue. She just locks her phone and sits there in silence. My mother used to sit in the front row at church. She led groups. She organized events. She was the one everyone respected. Now she sits in the back, not because anyone told her to, because she can feel the difference. Conversations stop when she walks in. Smiles feel forced. Distance replaces warmth. No one says anything directly. They do not have to. At home. The hardest part is not the silence. It is the reality. She has to manage everything on her own now. Appointments, groceries, daily life. One afternoon, she calls Lila. Can you take me to the doctor on Tuesday? Lila sighs. I have 3 kids. Mom, I can't just drop everything. The words hang in the air. Because for the first time, my mother hears exactly what I was never allowed to say. Then figure it out yourself. The words echo longer than they should. That night, my mother calls Margaret again. Everyone is looking at me like I am some kind of monster, she says. Margaret pauses before answering. They are not looking at you like a monster. Elaine. They are looking at you for the first time. The line goes quiet. Then it ends. My mother sits alone in her living room. The television is off. The house is still. No one is coming. For the first time, she understands what that silence feels like. But the truth does not stop with her. It spreads through the rest of the family. At Lila's house, things begin to crack. One night, after the kids are asleep, Marcus sits at the kitchen counter and finally says what he has been holding in. You used your sister, he says. We both did. Lila stiffens. Do not start. I am not starting anything. He replies. My dad has not called me in 2 weeks because of that folder. He looks at me like he does not know me. So now it is my fault, she snaps. It is our fault Hannah left. He says quietly. She has no answer for that. So she does what she always does when the truth gets too close. She walks away, but the truth does not leave with her. It is already in the room. The next week, at her usual group, someone brings it up casually. Is it true your sister sent over 200 messages and nobody answered? Lila freezes. It is complicated. She says, no. The woman replies gently, it is not. That is someone trying to be seen. No one argues. Lila leaves early. At home, everything changes. For the first time in years. She does everything herself. School runs, meals, appointments, bedtime routines. All of it. Every day. One night. After the house is finally quiet. She sits on the kitchen floor with her phone. She scrolls back through old messages. She finds one from me. Hey, just checking on you. You seemed tired last time I saw you. She stares at it for a long time, and, for the first time, she understands. A month after the party, the family is no longer the same. My mother and Lila barely speak. Each blames the other. Marcus and his father avoid each other, neither willing to say what they both know. Lila and Marcus live in the same house but speak only about tasks. The warmth is gone. And the truth is this. I did not create anything new. Every message in that folder had already been sent. I simply placed them where no one could ignore them anymore. My family did not break because of me. It broke because of what they did when they thought no one was watching. I did not destroy anything. I just turned the lights on. Margaret calls me one Sunday afternoon. They are all a mess. She says. I know. I reply. How do you feel? I think about it for a moment. I do not feel happy. I say. I do not feel sad either. I just feel lighter, like I finally put something down that I was never meant to carry alone. That sounds right, she says softly. That night, I open my calendar. Rain taps gently against the window. My tea is still warm in my hands. The apartment smells like the candle Emily gave me. I scroll through the week. Saturday hikes, Wednesday pottery classes, dinner with friends, evenings blocked off just for me. Every single entry belongs to my life. At work, my manager calls me in the next morning. She hands me a letter. A promotion. Senior project manager. You are the most reliable person on this team. She says. I smile and thank her. I do not tell her where I learned that. Some lessons come from places you never want to go back to. That evening, I call Margaret. She is in her kitchen. Glasses on, a glass of wine in her hand. How does it feel? She asks. Like I finally have a life that belongs to me, I say. She smiles. That is all I ever wanted for you. Later, I check my messages. Marcus has sent a few over the past weeks. A photo of Ava at a school play. A short video of Noah laughing. A message about Mason losing his first tooth. No requests. No pressure. Just sharing. For the first time. I reply. Thank you. They are growing so fast. It is not a door reopening. It is just a small window. And that is enough. Months pass. My mother starts therapy. Not because she wanted to, but because someone she respects suggested it. She sends me one message. I am working on myself. I read it twice. I do not answer yet. Lila and I have not spoken since that last call, but I hear things through Marcus. She is doing everything on her own now, managing her life, learning what it takes. It is not easy, but it is real. And maybe, for the first time, she understands. Through Marcus. I see pieces of their life now. A photo of Noah in a Halloween costume, small updates, careful ones. My mother and Lila speak again, but not like before. They see each other at pickup, exchange a few words. Nothing more. The old rhythm is gone, the one where my mother directed everything. Lila followed, and I held the space in between, without that middle piece. They do not know how to stand next to each other. As for me, I am not going back to Ohio. I have not made a plan to return, but I have not closed the door either. I just moved the key somewhere quieter, If the right moment comes, I will know. Some things heal, some things do not. I am learning to live with both. One evening in October, I stand in my kitchen in Seattle. The apartment smells warm, familiar in a way that feels new. Pot roast, my mother's recipe. I saved it years ago. A simple list: carrots, onions, thyme and patience. Emily walks in and stops at the doorway. That smells incredible. She says, "Where did you learn that, my mom?" I answer, "No tension, no bitterness, just a fact. She taught you well." She says, "We eat together." She smiles after the first bite. "This is amazing." And she means it. After dinner, I wash the dishes. For a moment, I am 14 again. Same motion, same quiet, but everything else is different. This space is mine. This life is mine. And when I turn around, someone looks at me and says, "Thank you." 2 simple words. It took me years to hear them. Later that night, I sit on my bed and open my phone. I type a message. "I made your pot roast tonight. It turned out good." I stare at it. Then I send it. A few minutes pass. A reply appears. "I'm glad. Sweetheart, that is all. No pressure, no expectations. Just something small. And for now, that is enough. If you would have made the same choice as me walking away to finally choose yourself, just comment yes, so I know I'm not alone in this. If you would have stayed and kept carrying everything for everyone, you can comment stay too, no judgment here. And if you would have chosen a different path, I'd really love to hear it. Tell me your story in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. There was a moment I realized something had been missing my entire life. Not love, not effort, but recognition. I had spent years showing up for everyone else, believing that if I gave enough, I would finally be seen. But the truth is, love should not have to be proven through exhaustion. This journey taught me that self-worth is not built on sacrifice alone, but on balance, respect, and the courage to step away when that respect is missing. I learned that choosing yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. And sometimes, the most painful decisions are the ones that lead you back to who you truly are. We all deserve to be valued not for what we do, but for who we are. If this story resonates with you, maybe it is a sign to pause and ask yourself, are you being seen? Or just being used? If you've ever felt this way, your voice matters here. You are not alone, and your story could help someone else feel understood. So don't hesitate to like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel to become part of a community where every experience has value. I'll see you in the next story.
Welcome to Family Confessions. Our stories go beyond entertainment, helping viewers recognize toxic behaviors, understand boundaries, and reflect on their relationships, while reinforcing self-worth and the strength to heal and move forward. Each video follows a structured workflow ensuring quality and value for our audience. Thank you for being here.